Most people think the sound of betrayal is a scream or a glass shattering against a wall. It is not. Betrayal is quiet. It is the scratch of a fountain pen on a checkbook. It is the silence of a courtroom right before the hammer drops. It is the soft click of a door closing when your parents leave you behind because you no longer fit their aesthetic. I learned this lesson when I was 3 months old, and today, 28 years later, I am going to teach it back to them. My name is Haley. I am 28 years old. By day, I am a forensic accountant for a private firm in New York City. That means I hunt people. I do not use a gun and I do not use handcuffs. I use spreadsheets. I trace wire transfers through shell companies in the Cayman Islands. I find the money that husbands hide from their wives and that CEOs steal from their shareholders. I have a unique talent for smelling a lie in a column of numbers. My grandfather, William, used to tell me that numbers are the only things in this world that have integrity. People lie, tears lie, even memories lie. But the math? The math always balances out in the end. You just have to be patient enough to find the variable. Today, the variables are sitting across the aisle from me. My father, Scott, and my mother, Diane. They look perfect. Scott is wearing a navy blue suit that fits him a little too well. He is checking his watch, a vintage Patek Philippe that I know for a fact is a high-quality replica he bought in Hong Kong. My mother is dabbing her eyes with a silk handkerchief. She is wearing black, the color of mourning. But she is not mourning my grandfather. She is mourning the lifestyle she is about to lose. They are holding hands. To the judge, to the jury, and to the gallery, they look like a grieving couple battling a greedy, estranged daughter. They look like victims. But I know the truth. I know that the suit was bought on a credit card that has been maxed out for 6 months. I know their house in Los Angeles is in foreclosure, and I know that the tears in my mother's eyes are real, but they are tears of terror, not sadness. Because they know who I am. They know what I do, and they are terrified that I found the ledger. Let me take you back to the beginning. To understand why I am about to ruin my parents' lives publicly and legally, you have to understand the emptiness they left inside me. I was born in 1996. My parents were 22. They were beautiful and ambitious and completely delusional. They wanted to be famous. They didn't know for what exactly. Acting, modeling, lifestyle coaching. It didn't matter. They just wanted the lights. A baby did not fit into that script. A baby meant responsibility. A baby meant they couldn't fly to Paris on a whim or spend their rent money on networking parties. So one rainy Tuesday morning, they packed their bags. They drove to my grandfather's house in Boston, a sprawling cold estate filled with old books and silence, and they left me on the porch in a car seat. They didn't even ring the doorbell. My grandfather found me when he went out to get the morning paper. There was a note tucked into my blanket. It didn't say I love you. It didn't say we will be back. It just said, take care of her. We have to follow our destiny. Their destiny, or apparently, was to become professional grifters. My grandfather, William Parker, was a federal judge. He was a man made of granite and iron. He did not know how to braid hair. He did not know how to bake cookies. He did not hug. When I fell and scraped my knee, he didn't kiss it better. He would hand me a bandage and tell me to assess the damage and proceed. But he loved me. He loved me in the only way he knew how, by preparing me for a world he knew was cruel. While other girls were playing with dolls, Grandpa William was teaching me how to read bank statements. We spent our evenings in his library surrounded by towers of legal briefs. Look here, Haley, he would say, his finger tracing a line on a document. Do you see this expense? This is how you hide a bribe. They call it consulting fees. Never trust the label. One trust the transaction. He taught me that everyone has a price and everyone has a secret. He taught me that the person smiling the widest is usually the one with the hand in your pocket. I didn't realize it then, but he was training me. He was sharpening me into a weapon he knew I would one day need to use against his own daughter. For 15 years, we heard nothing from them. No birthday cards, no Christmas calls. I was a ghost to them. And then I turned 18. I remember the day clearly. It was a Sunday. A shiny rented Bentley pulled into our driveway. The doors opened and out stepped Scott and Diane. They looked like they had walked out of a magazine photo shoot. White teeth, tan skin, designer clothes, and behind them, a camera crew. They were filming a pilot for a reality TV show about reconnecting with family. They rushed toward me with open arms, screaming, "Haley, our baby girl!" I stood there, frozen. I didn't feel love. I felt nausea. My grandfather stepped out onto the porch. He was 70 years old then, but he looked like a titan. He was holding his old hunting shotgun. He didn't point it at them. He just held it, barrel down, resting on his shoe. "Get off my property," he said. His voice was low, like thunder in the distance. Daddy! My mother shrieked, playing to the cameras. We just want to see our daughter. We want to be a family again. You are not family, Grandpa said. You are trespassers. You have 60 seconds before I call the sheriff. They left, but before they got back in the car, I saw my father's eyes. He wasn't looking at me. He was looking at the house. He was looking at the land. He was looking at the antique car in the garage. He was calculating the net worth. He wasn't seeing a reunion. He was seeing an inheritance. That was 10 years ago. I went to college. I got my degree in accounting. I moved to New York. I built a life. I tried to forget them. But parasites never truly leave. They just wait for the host to get weak. 6 months ago, Grandpa William was diagnosed with stage 4 pancreatic cancer. The doctors gave him weeks. I took a leave of absence from my firm and moved back to Boston to be with him. Those final weeks were brutal. The man of granite was crumbling, but his mind was as sharp as a razor. One night, during a storm, he woke me up. He was weak, his breathing shallow. Haley, he whispered. Open the safe. I opened the heavy steel safe in the corner of his bedroom. Inside there was no money, just a stack of files and a small black hard drive. They are coming, he said, your parents. I had my clerk run a background check on them. They are drowning, Haley. Their empire is a fraud. They owe $3 million to a private lending group in Las Vegas. Dangerous people. I felt a chill go down my spine. $3 million. They need my money to stay alive, Grandpa rasped. When I die, they will come. They will contest the will. They will say I was senile. They will say you manipulated me. They will try to take everything. He grabbed my hand. His grip was surprisingly strong. Don't let them, promise me. You use what I taught you. You follow the money. You destroy them. I promise, I said. He died 2 days later, and just as he predicted, the vultures began to circle. At the funeral, my mother threw herself onto the casket. It was a performance worthy of an Academy Award. She sobbed, she wailed, she screamed about how much she loved her daddy. Meanwhile, I saw her checking the viewer count on her phone. She was live streaming the funeral to her 50,000 followers on Instagram. Title, Saying Goodbye to My Hero. I stood in the back, silent. I didn't cry. I was too busy watching my father. He wasn't crying. He was talking to a man in a cheap suit in the corner of the cemetery. I recognized the man. He was a lawyer known for shady probate cases. 3 days after the funeral, I was served with the lawsuit. Scott and Diane Morrison versus the estate of William Parker. The allegation was disgusting, and they claimed that I, his granddaughter, had committed elder abuse. They claimed I had isolated him, drugged him, and forced him to sign a new will leaving everything to me. They painted me as a monster who took advantage of a dying man. And the worst part? They had a witness, a nurse, one of the night nurses I had hired to help with Grandpa's palliative care. Her name was Sandra. She signed a sworn affidavit saying she saw me screaming at Grandpa and forcing a pen into his hand while he was confused. My lawyer, David, was terrified. Haley, he told me, pacing around his office, this looks bad. Juries hate elder abuse. If they believe the nurse, the will is void. Your parents are the next of kin. They get everything. The house, the investments, the accounts, all of it. Let them try, I said. I wasn't scared. I was angry. A cold and quiet anger that clarified everything. I went back to the house. I went back to the safe. I plugged in the hard drive Grandpa had given me, and then I started to dig. I didn't sleep for 72 hours. I traced every credit card transaction my parents had made in the last 5 years. I pulled the nurse's financial records. I mapped out the connections, and I found it. I found the smoking gun. That brings us back to today, the courtroom. The judge asks my parents' lawyer to present their case. Mr. Sterling, their shark of a lawyer, stands up. Your Honor, he begins, his voice dripping with fake sympathy. This is a tragedy. A devoted daughter, Diane, cut out of her inheritance by a manipulative granddaughter. We have testimony from a neutral third party, a nurse, who witnessed the abuse firsthand. They call Sandra, the nurse, Drews to the stand. She looks small and fragile. She cries on cue. Haley was awful, Sandra sobs into the microphone. She wouldn't let his daughter visit. She told Mr. Parker that his daughter hated him. She forced him to sign those papers when he was on high doses of morphine. My mother is nodding in the gallery, wiping away tears. My father is looking at the floor, acting the part of the heartbroken son-in-law. The jury looks at me with disgust. I can feel their judgment. They see a cold, unfeeling granddaughter. Then it is my turn. I stand up. I smooth out my skirt. I walk to the podium. I do not look at the jury. I look directly at my parents. Your Honor, I say, I would like to present a piece of evidence that was recovered from the deceased's personal safe. Exhibit A. I hand a USB drive to the bailiff. 6 months ago, I continue, my voice steady, my grandfather asked me to install a security system in his bedroom. It was a closed-circuit system, offline, motion-activated. He didn't install it to watch the nurses, Your Honor. He installed it because he knew his daughter was coming. My mother's head snaps up. The color drains from her face. My father stops checking his watch. Please play the file dated October 14th, I say. And the large screens in the courtroom flicker to life. The video is black and white, grainy, but the audio is crystal clear. It shows my grandfather's bedroom. He is asleep in the hospital bed. It is 2 a.m. The door creaks open. 2 figures sneak in. It is Scott and Diane. My father is holding a pillow. My mother is rifling through the drawers of the nightstand. The courtroom goes silent. You could hear a pin drop. On the screen, my father speaks. Just do it, Diane. We have to find the checkbook. My mother's voice whispers back, sharp and venomous. I can't find it. The old man hid it. Scott, if he doesn't die tonight, the new will goes into effect next week. We lose everything. My father steps closer to the bed, holding the pillow up. Then we make sure he doesn't wake up. The nurse is on her break. No one will know. A gasp ripples through the courtroom. The jurors cover their mouths. The judge leans forward, his eyes wide. On the screen, my grandfather stirs. He coughs. My parents freeze. They look at each other in panic, then turn and run out of the room like rats. Stop the tape, I say. I turn to my parents. My mother is shaking. She looks like she is about to vomit. My father is gripping the table so hard his knuckles are white. That's a deep fake, my father shouts, standing up. That is AI. She generated that. It's not real. Sit down, Mr. Morrison, the judge roars. I am not done, Your Honor, I say. I am relentless now. I am the storm. The plaintiffs claim they bribed no one. They claim Ms. Sandra is a neutral witness. I pull a document from my briefcase. This is a bank statement from a shell company called Future Wealth LLC, registered in Delaware to Mr. Scott Morrison. On the day after my grandfather died, this company wired $10,000 to an account in the Cayman Islands. I pause for effect. I trace that Cayman account. It belongs to Ms. Sandra's husband. I turn to the nurse on the stand. Ms. Sandra, do you want to amend your testimony? Or would you like to add perjury and conspiracy to your charges? The nurse breaks. It is instant. They made me do it, she screams, pointing at my parents. They told me they would report me to the board. They said they would ruin me. I needed the money. Chaos erupts. The judge is banging his gavel. My mother is sobbing, loudly and uglily. My father is trying to push past his lawyer to get to the exit. But the bailiffs are already moving in. I watch them. I watch the people who gave me life and then threw me away like trash. I watch them panic. The judge looks furious. Case dismissed, he announces. And bailiffs, take Mr. and Mrs. Morrison into custody. I am referring this matter immediately to the district attorney for charges of attempted murder, fraud, witness tampering, and perjury. As the handcuffs click around my mother's wrists, she looks at me. Her mask is gone. There is no more grieving daughter. There is only a desperate, selfish woman. Haley, she screams. Haley, please. We are your family. They will kill us in prison. We have debts. Haley, help us. I walk over to the railing. I look her in the eye. I feel nothing. No hate, no love. Just the satisfaction of an equation finally balancing out. You taught me that numbers don't lie, Mom, I say softly. You owe $3 million. You have 0. And your freedom? That just cost you everything. I turn my back on them. I walk out of the courtroom. Outside, the air is crisp. The sun is shining. The city sounds like music. My phone buzzes. It is a notification from the bank. The estate transfer has been finalized. The house, the investments, the accounts, all of it is mine now. I open my banking app. I look at the balance. It is a lot of zeros. I make a transfer. I send half of the money to a trust fund dedicated to helping victims of financial abuse and elder fraud. Grandpa William would have liked that. It balances the ledger. As I walk down the courthouse steps, I see a notification pop up on my social media. Diane_lifestyle_queen has started a live video. I click on it out of curiosity. It is just a black screen. In the background, I can hear the sound of a police radio and my father shouting for a lawyer. Then a police officer's voice says, "Turn off the phone, ma'am. You are under arrest." The video ends. I smile. I put my phone in my pocket and hail a cab. They say revenge is a dish best served cold, but as a forensic accountant, I disagree. Revenge is just an audit. And today, the books are finally closed.